Hey, what's up, guys? It's your host of the Indaka interview and the creator of the Call of the Curse manga. If you haven't seen the first chapter, you can check that out on my website. All links are in the bios of my social medias, and it will also be in the description if you're watching here on YouTube. Today, we have the creator of the upcoming indie manga called Gang. I think you guys will be very interested in this, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and give a warm welcome to Frank Ford, the creator of Gang. Welcome.
What's up?
All right, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just chilling. What did you say your last name was?
Ford.
Todd. That's funny.
Yeah. I know we got the same last name. All right, so guys, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna go ahead and put it up here on the screen. So here is his. There you go. Should be able to see it here. If you guys haven't seen his manga,
the cover art.
Yeah,
and I'm actually gonna get that updated too. Get that updated. Got another idea for it.
So what do you think about doing to it?
Well, I think I wanted to reference, I don't know if anyone knows this, but the entirety of Gang is is inspired by video games. So I'm probably thinking I'm trying to take like something like a video game, a piece of art from a video game, a cover or whatnot, and use that for the next cover. You know what I'm saying? Just do something like that.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if you haven't seen it, this is the cover of the manga Gang. I know he said he was going to do some updates, but this is what it looks like. All right, so why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
For those who are just now joining, my name is Frank Ford, and I'm born and raised Kansas City, Missouri. 32 years old. You know, I like long walks on the beach and all that other good jazz. But seriously, I'm not. There's not a lot to me. I'm really laid back, chill. I love people. All around I'm a cool person. If anything, I'm fun to be around. From what I've been told, So, I mean, that's pretty much really all I got to say for real. When it comes to me, it's not too much. It's not much to me. Yeah. I'm an open book.
So how old are you?
I'm 32. Okay. 32 years old.
And so what initially decided, that basically made you want to create Gang?
All right, so the idea of Gang came from, like most places, I was at work and I was like, man, because the very first manga I ever read was I Shield 21. It's the first manga I ever read, and I was like, I want to create a manga because the thought of Gang has been in my mind for years, but I never really put a lot of thought into it because I was always under the impression that in order to create a manga, you had to be gifted in art. And then upon further research, I realized that a lot of manga, actually, like I Shield 21, for example, has both a writer and an artist. I was like, oh, what? So that with that type of knowledge, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to create a manga, and you know, just to say that I did it, you know,
Right.
just to say that I did it. And you know, so once I got that that uh that motivation, you know, I started on this journey figuring out characters and stuff like that.
So, yeah, just to go back on what you were saying about the artists and everything. So
Hmm.
originally, I ended up going to college because I was, into the same mindset as you, thinking I had to, be the artist, the writer, everything. So I'm,
Hmm.
going to college, trying to become a computer animator, work on characters, things of that nature. And then
Hmm.
I didn't find out until like 2 years later. I'm like, hey, I just want to write. And so um, I ended up finding my artist on Fiverr. And that's what I tell a lot
Hmm.
of people. If you want to get into manga writing, find you an artist, but find someone that, you have some legal protection. Because a lot
Right,
of
right,
people,
right.
they can go and do your art and then they just decide, hey, well, I made it, so it's mine. And then they can sue you for using it. So that's really what I try to tell people. So
Right.
where did you find your artist?
Well, the art that so all right, so this is how this is the system that I'm using, right? So I have an actual illustrator, right? And I found her on Facebook, and
Mm,
she's dope. I like working with her. Now the art that you know that I've posted on Facebook, and I got an Instagram, and on my TikTok, I found him on Fiverr, and then I got another artist by the name of Marty Jennings. Who's actually really cool. He's a really cool dude. I found him on Facebook as well. You know, just being in different manga groups and
mm,
stuff like that. People posting their art. And, you know, I'll reach out to people. You know,
right.
because you know I like to talk to people. I like to get to know people and talk to them and stuff like that. So he helps me as well. Um, so that's pretty much it. Just Facebook and Fiverr. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a different artist for your like character designs, and then one for like the actual manga itself.
Yes, and the reason I did that is because uh, my illustrator, she goes by the name of Yuki.
Hmm.
She does projects for other people because she's more like a freelance artist or manga artist. So to take the burden off of her and to have her, because the process would be like, all right, see, I have these characters, right?
Right.
She would have to, or we would have to literally sit down, create characters, and then she would have, you know, we would have to create characters and all that stuff, right? So, but with these other two artists, they, I sit with them, and they create my character. Well, I create them, but you know, they draw them out and stuff like that,
Right.
and then I show them to her, and she can illustrate them. So it makes her job a lot less stressful.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the formula I'm using, and she really appreciates me doing that too.
Yeah. That's honestly, I do the exact same thing as you. So I have a different, yeah, I got a different manga illustrator and a character designer because it's
Right.
just like very time consuming. You
Hmm.
have to draw the characters, then illustrate, and then you have to draw all of the characters before you can actually start illustrating the manga because you gotta know who's gonna be where.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
it's so. What would you say is some advice that you would give to someone who's trying to get into becoming a manga creator?
My advice would be, don't let people who, you know, do both their drawing people who can actually illustrate their own characters and write their own manga. Don't let people like that make you feel like you have to be good at drawing in order to make a manga, because you really don't. And and another piece of advice that I can give is that it's a process. You just ain't gonna, and I think a lot of it is that people want to create manga so they can get an anime, because usually that's what people want. It's not gonna happen off the bat. You ain't gonna drop a manga and then 6 months later you got 12 episodes, premiering on Netflix. It's not gonna work like that.
Right.
Don't. And I guess just another piece of advice is just don't be afraid to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to be yourself when it comes to writing your own story, because it's your story that you want the world to experience.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I have a lot of people who I talk to who want to get into writing and creating. They always ask me, why did I not want to illustrate my own story? I'm just like, I can't draw. Like, I do little drawings to like show the people what I want. But if I was to put that out there, no one would like that. So, like you said, don't let people who can draw and write, tell you that that's what you have to do, or you can't make it if you don't. Because, like you said, a lot of people who have manga have artists. So it's not like you have to do both. I mean, it would be cool, save some money, but it's not a necessity.
Right. And another thing is that just diving into the whole manga industry, you'd be surprised how many big time mangaka have assistants that help them with their stuff. So it's all about team. You can't get nowhere without teamwork, I feel, in this industry, because even the people you think are doing it by themselves really aren't doing it by themselves.
Nope. Yeah. And that's why I got the inspiration for this Discord, just to get to talk to other creators, put ideas together and things like that. Because, I like my story, but if I wanted to get bigger, I have to, get other people's perspective, what they think, get their, ideas and stuff like that. So that's the real reason why I created this, and that's why I wanted to start doing interviews, so people can get other creators, their perspective on things.
Right. I guess I can agree with that.
All right, so now it's time to get into the meat of the matter. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about your manga, Gang?
All right, so Gang. What can I say about Gang? It's gonna be fun. It's fun. It's a manga based off of well, first let me say it's the main characters in Gang are Victory, Yuna, Mary, and Sarabi. Those are the four main characters of Gang. And Gang, it actually went through quite a bit of changes. And just this here recent idea that I'm sticking with, it's gonna be pretty much there in this world. There's a big tournament called the Gang Wars, and in this tournament, it's pretty much, like I said, everything in Gang references a video game. Even the characters are designed or inspired after video game characters. And so in this tournament, it's I don't want to say too much, but it's going to start off as like a battle royale type tournament. Like, I guess for example, think of like the Tournament of Power in Dragon Ball Super, but there's going to be rules in place to kind of, make it seem like I'm not copying and pasting.
Right.
So basically, it's about Victory and his gang, and they're and them competing to get to the center stage, which is where the final bout takes place, and then winning. Now, I can't say too much because what it is I have another plan on top of, like, once this, I guess you could say, um uh I want to say after the initial tournament segment of the story, I have something else in mind for it, but I don't want to get too much into it because, like I said, I went through probably like 3 or 4 different concepts for this story, and the most recent one I'm sticking with. So it's nothing like, the story's not going to be nothing super deep or philosophical. Like, it's not going to be nothing crazy where you gotta wrap your mind around so.
Right.
So, but it's gonna be fun. I believe it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are definitely interested in reading it, especially me. So when would you say you think you would have like the first chapter out?
All right, so I guess a little spoiler. So what it is that, like we discussed before, like I talked with you a couple of times before. I just wrote a little practice script, and so and then the reason for that is to get my illustrator used to drawing my characters, because I watch a lot of YouTube channels on making mangas and stuff, and one thing they do say is that constantly draw your characters so you get used to drawing them in different angles, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even though that I'm not doing it, but I'm hoping if I could, like, it's like I do got a lot. I do have a life myself. I'm married. I got 2 kids. I got one on the way, and stuff like that. So I would love, like, if I could just quit my job and just sit down and just write. I would hope that the first chapter would be done and illustrated. I want to release something hopefully by Christmas. Hopefully want to release something by Christmas. But like I said, I do have a life and stuff like that, and priorities.
Yeah, I completely understand. I really rushed my first chapter, but really anything else after that, it's gonna be like 6 months. I know how hard it is, man.
Right.
So I know some of the people in here have not seen your characters. So let's go ahead and start off with the first one, Victory.
All right.
So what was your inspiration when it came to creating it?
All right, so Victory, or Vic, that's my dude, right? And my inspiration for Victory came from life itself. As a person who wants to be something in life, he's the inspiration that I want to give people, if that makes sense. And his now, as far as his character, a lot of people say he looks really badass, which that's the whole point of it, and he has an extremely what's the word I could say, weird hairstyle. And the reason for that weird hairstyle is that when I create characters, I want them to stand out as much as possible. I want to be able to put my characters next to a bunch of other people's characters and say, that's my character. You know what I'm saying? Just, so that's why he looks the way he looks. Especially, his hair, that's the reason his hair looks the way he looks, because, I want people to be able to point out in a silhouette, like, that's Victory. You know what I'm saying? And so, let me see, what else would you want to know about him?
So I don't know if you're trying to keep some spoilers for yourself or something like that. But
Uh,
why don't you go over like maybe his abilities?
all right, abilities. All right, this is easy. So what it is? So with victory, I can't. I'm pretty sure there's a proper term for it, but I can't think of it right now. So I'm going to just say a thermokinetic. But victory can control the temperature around him, right? And so with that, uh, okay, I take that back. He can absorb the heat from different sources. He can absorb heat from sources. And with the heat he absorbs, he can do things with it. And what it is, the power system in Gang is called Aura. And it sort of works like Nin from Hunter x Hunter, if anyone's familiar with that. It sort of works like that, but on a more devastating scale. So with that, so what it is that when Victory fights, he has a way of reading his opponent's body temperature. And the longer your body heats up, the more you move or when you're going to do something, and he can predict movements through his opponent's body temperature.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. So yeah, he's I know it sounds broken, but it's like to do that. There's a drawback. Of course, he can't like infinitely do it. It takes you got to focus on your opponent's movements to do it, and it takes aura to do so. So he's not completely as OP as it sounds.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that some of your characters are inspired by like sports.
Yeah.
So is he inspired by sports as well?
Victory is not. His design was not inspired by sports. His design is actually inspired from my favorite JRPG strategy game. My favorite strategy game called Disgaea, right? And there's part 2 to be actually part 1 and part 2. And there's 2 characters, Adele and Laharl, and Victory's design his design is inspired by those 2 characters. The antennas, or bangs, I guess you could call them, on Victory's forehead comes from Laharl's antennas on his head, but instead of them being in the middle of his head, it's on the front of his head. And then just Victory's, more so his demeanor and everything comes from Adele, which is a guy. If people was like, the singer Adele, no.
Right. So I can see here that he seems kind of sorry about that. I can see that he's kind of like serious. So is that his type of personality?
Actually, believe it or not, Victory they have 2 personalities. Like, they have a battle mode. Like, when you're in a fight, your personality changes different from when you have downtime and you're relaxing.
Right.
And so Victory, when he's relaxing, he's just, like I said, he's very chill, and but he takes his job as the leader of his gang seriously, and he's always trying to figure out new ways that his team can overcome the next obstacle that they might face in this said gang war, right?
Right.
He's adventurous, he likes hang out. He's the only male member on his team, and the girls irritate his soul. And so but he doesn't. It's more of like a fun, like that best friend irritation. Like, God, like why are y'all like this?
Right.
It's one of them type of relationships that he has with his team members. He's childish. He could be childish as well, but Overall, he's a very fun and inviting character. Which I mean, what I mean by that, people are drawn to him because he's just so chill. If that makes sense. That
Right,
makes
right, right.
sense.
Yeah, I can get it. I can get it. So, you talk about they're all in gangs, right? And I know you
Right, right,
talked
right.
about the tournament.
hmm
So, where did you come up with the idea for gangs? And is everything that they're doing in regards to the tournament, or is the tournament just like the end?
Um. Okay, so and you kind of the tournament is actually what it is that this tournament is more like a battle for glory type thing. It's more so there's territories, and each territory has people who participate in this tournament called the Gang Wars. And gang is more of a metaphor. I don't, it's going to be a play on words. Like you're going to see different gang aesthetics that you will see in real life. Like you have the mafia, you have the yakuza, you have the Irish mob. So with Victory, they don't have any sort of type of game aesthetic
Mm-hmm.
because gang itself is more of a metaphor for just a group of people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like a group of people is just that's a gang of people. So what it is just a gang of friends, even though they don't know each other at first. But it's just they're just a gang, a group of people in this tournament. So it's just like it's like a metaphor.
Okay. Okay. All right, and then so based off of that, my question would be: is the world of gang? Is it
hmm
like our real world, or is it a completely different, made up fictitious world?
It's a made up fix. It's a made up world, and I guess I could say this, but the whole idea of the whole gang wars of it's going to take place on a huge, I guess you could say, island, and I got the idea from Fortnite, and actually that's how the whole thing is set up. Is that Victory's team? Because it's highly recommended that if you participate in the gang wars, is that you enter it with people that what I'm saying, that you're familiar with their abilities and stuff like that. Well, Victory being who he is, he he went in, and the other three members as well. They're the only team. Well, no, I take that back. They're not the only team, but they're the only main team that's made up of random people that's going to advance as far as they advance. Because like I said, they tell you, like, if you enter this game where you want to do it with friends, just like how you would play online in a
Right.
video game. If you play with friends, your chances of winning are higher
Right.
because y'all know what each other is capable of.
Right. Okay. Okay. I see. I see. All right. So next, somebody's favorite. Let's go ahead and talk about Yuna.
uh, oh shit.
All right. So where'd you get the inspiration for her?
Yuna's character design is based off of my love for Fire Emblem. Um, my favorite. I'm a Lucina fan, and I love Lindis from the Fire. That was actually the first final game I played on Game Boy Advance was Fire Emblem, and was it the Sacred Stones or whatever, or was that the second one? I can't remember. But anyway, Lindis was like, I was like, God, when did that Fire Emblem come out? I was probably like 13, 12 when I played it, and just seeing this chick do all this, and she's fast.
Uh-huh.
I like speedy characters, and Yuna's a speedy character. Um, but I was just amazed. Just I don't know what it was, but I just liked her. I was like, oh man, that's dope. She's fast. She can split it. She's so fast she can split it like to five other people. Blah blah woo woo. So uh, that's where my inspiration for Yuna came from. Uh, now, yeah, yep, yep. That's where it came from. Just pretty much, she's just made up of different Fire Emblem sword girls, pretty much.
Okay, okay. So you want to go over her abilities?
All right, so Yuna is the Rock Lee of gang of her team, and what I mean by that is, in gang, everyone can project aura in some type of way, but she can't. She can't do that. So with that handicap, because the moveset that I have for her, if she could do that, she would be just super busted. So with that, I create her character design. She fights based off of psychological warfare. Her abilities are based off of the book, The Art of War, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, Yuna can read vibes. She can read vibes, and she's like, and what I mean by that, compared to like a polygraph test, right? You know,
Right.
you ask a question. If you're lying, your body will give off a certain type of intensity, and she can read that. That's why you can never lie to her. She can read you like a book. So if she asks you something, she can read your demeanor. So it's impossible to lie to her. Um, and with that, she's actually became like she's a very skilled swordsman. On top of that, she was trained by a rabbit. I can't really get into all that, but she was trained by a
Okay,
rabbit.
okay. I see the connection.
um, she's from the island of Lunakini, and it's Lunakini actually references uh, a moon-shaped island in Hawaii called Monokini, and with her powers also revolve around. I won't say her powers, but her aesthetics revolve around the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a picture of her with a technique where she splits the moon in half.
Right, right.
Right. And so, uh, and it's like, can she split the moon in half? I'll answer that later. But her techniques are all her fighting style is more so intimidating her opponent with her crazy amount of strength and speed,
Mm-hmm.
and that I want to say that's pretty much this unit character. There's really not a lot to her. She's what's the word I want to say? She's the sexy perverted swordsman, right?
Okay, okay.
Like she's cool. She reads she reads smut. So she reads smut. She likes her sweets. All that other cool, little feminine. I wouldn't say feminine, but all girly stuff. She likes her sweets and all that other stuff. She's horrifically terrified of possums. She's terrified of possums. Um, uh, I enjoy writing stuff for her because she doesn't talk a lot, but when she does, it's more so she's the character that'll call your bluff
Right.
because her powers actually depend on her own will, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. So so she has that. So she acts, the way she acts is accordance to her powers. So
Okay, okay. I know you know who will be interested to hear about that.
right.
All right, so the next one. I want to make sure I pronounce this right. Sarabi.
Yes, Sarabi. I love Sarabi. She's actually a fan favorite. A lot of people like her design.
Right.
And here's the thing. She's actually 20 years old. She's the oldest member in their group. And Sarabi's design, my wife actually helped me design her because I'm not good with female hairstyles and stuff like. When especially, I don't know names of hairstyles.
Right.
So my wife actually, when I was coming up with Sarabi's design, I'm a big fan of Afro puffs, right? And
Same.
so my wife said, well, if you, she called them something, oh, space buns, but I don't know. Anyway, it was something. But when she did it, I was like, okay, I want to make her younger looking because Sarabi's appearance, even though she's 20 years old, her appearance is a reflection of how we say black don't crack. So she's 20 years old, but she looks like she's 15, 16.
Right.
Um, she's the shit talker of the group. She talks. She does that. She does that. She hates Victory's name, and she doesn't call him by his name ever. After she heard what his name was, she says, "I'm not calling you that." So she gave him a nickname, and so, but she's the one who, um, she's going to be the character that she gets into stuff. And I don't mean like she's not childish or anything like that. I don't want to get it off. She can be. She can be extremely petty. And when I mean the pettiest of petty, she can be petty. Um, so, but she's she's extremely fun to write for because her ignorance is equivalent to mine. Like I could be really ignorant at times, and her ignorance she can be just as ignorant. Uh, but her deal is she comes from in the story she comes from Tampa City, and it was influenced by, and I did a lot of research on this, but it's Tampa City is obviously influenced by Tampa Bay, Florida.
Right.
And what it is that Sarabi's hair uh, is big, like her puffs are really big, right? And her hair is white, like a cloud. And where does lightning come? And her powers are, well. Let me first start. She has the power. Her aura. She has power over electricity, right?
Right.
And so with that, because I made up her character, then I made up the city and stuff like that. So what it is that Tampa Bay, after doing some research, I found out that Tampa Bay gets the most thunderstorms out of any city in America. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, Sarabi uses electricity, and electricity comes from clouds. Her hair's white and big. Like if she takes her hair down, it look like a big cloud. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I just kind of put two and two together, just like,
Right.
all right. So that's her thing, and the reason she wants to participate in the gang wars is, and I guess I could give a little bit insight on her powers too in her little bio in this bio. What it is that she was trained by her grandparents, and what it is that Sarabi uses electricity, and another thing, and I'll get into that. But she can use electricity to read. So she uses electricity to copy her opponent's movements. And what it is that the what I mean by that is that in the human body, the brain sends electric signals to body parts that that we want to use or whatever. It sends electric signals, and what it is when she fights you and she touches you, she can read those electric signals, so she knows what body part you're gonna attack with, defend with, stuff like that. And with that, she can copy your movements and learn your fighting style. She can store it. Think of like what is she can store it like, and you'll probably get this reference. She can store it like a cloud save.
Right. Okay.
And so, and what it is that, but what it is, the thing is that she can't do it for too long because her brain works like a computer. If you store too much information in it, it crashes, it runs slow, stuff like that. So she can access different memories, I guess you could say, through her aura's ability, which is a cloud, like which acts sort of like a cloud save. If she needs to, do something, pull information from somewhere, she can get it.
Okay. All right. Next, I see here you got Mary.
Yes, Mary. Mary is the baby, and what I mean by that is she's the youngest at 18 years old. And her full name is Mary Posa Monarch, and but everyone calls her Mary for short. And the thing about her name, Mary Posa, actually means butterfly. Now, monarch is a butterfly, so her name means monarch butterfly. Actually, if you translate her name,
right?
Mary's the what's the word I'm looking for? She's the tag along friend. She, like, if you want to do something, Mary's down to do it. She don't care what it is. I'm down because we such good friends.
Right.
If we get in trouble, we'll get out of it, whatever. But she's a sweetheart. She's the type of character that, she likes nature, plants, flowers, stuff that butterflies like. Right? And with her love of nature, that would include like animals, which includes possums, which Yuna is terrified of. And so, it's like, so Yuna thinks Mary's like disgusted in some ways, but it's like she doesn't see any problems with what she does, and with her being I guess you could say of a type of royalty. She doesn't, the way she lives is different than how Victory and Sarabi live and how Yuna lives. So when she does stuff, they're looking at her like, what? She'd be the type to, if everyone's eating pizza, right? She would be the one to eat it with a fork and a knife while everyone's eating it with their hand.
Right.
And everyone, like, why are you doing that? What is your problem? So, but she's extremely down to earth and understanding, and that's what I like about her character, is that she's very understanding of the world around her because she wants to learn, and that's the whole point, of being around people. So, not to judge them. She's not judgmental at all. She accepts you for who you are, So, and her and Sarabi are actually best friends. I like to refer to them as the dynamic duo because they always getting into shit because of Sarabi, and Mary's always tagging along, and Victory's like, Mary, why are you like, he's always yelling at Sarabi like, why are you influencing her, this innocent girl to do, to participate in your foolishness, so it's they're I'm gonna say they're the comic relief of the story, but they do a lot of comical stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
all right. So we're gonna get into a couple questions.
Sure.
Yes, let's go ahead and pull that chat up. If you guys want to ask some questions, you can ask it in the Project Gang channel. Alright, so first we got Midnight Sweeper in 2005, which I know you know who that is.
Yep.
All right, so he wants to know who is the underdog of the squad.
The underdog of the squad would be Mary because the other three are more trained in combat than she is. But when it comes to, let me say, how can I put this? Everyone has like an aura pool, right?
Right, right.
And Mary is like has the largest aura pool out of everybody, but because she's not as experienced of a fighter as everyone, she can't really demonstrate everything she can do full force like everyone else can.
Okay. That actually does sound familiar. I'm kind of getting like a kid Gohan type. Like you got a
Yeah,
lot of potential.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if I was to say anyone's the underdog, it's Mary because of her lack of combat expertise.
Okay.
But
All
she's
right.
not weak by any means. So
So he also wants to know. I'll just kind of make this a compound question. So, are any of the characters in the game in a relationship?
they are all single. Oh my god,
Okay. Okay. All single. Okay.
they all single. Yes.
Are there any like attractions, or they're just strictly friends?
I can't really answer that because it's. I mean, like. I mean, like. I mean, Victory's the only dude. Like, he's the only dude in this group. He's the only dude in the group,
Right.
and I mean, I don't want to say too much because I feel like that would kind of like ruin things. But
Okay.
I would,
Okay.
I want people's minds to wonder, which I think with it being like a shonen genre type of story that is kind of predictable, where it would go. And another thing is that the tropes in this series, like I said, everything is based off of a video game, and so um anything like relationships or anything like that happen in this story are based off of a video game
Yeah.
reference. Something that I saw in a video game. Like, I'm like, damn it. Let me see how I could put that in the story. So that's where I'm going with that. So I can't answer that because I feel like it would kind of ruin the story.
Right. 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 And so I know everyone is pretty young, but does anyone have any kids or anything like that?
I have no children. Sarabi's 20 years old, Yuna's 19, Victory's 19, and Mary's 18. Those are the age
Oh.
of the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
All right. And then for Yuna, he wants to know what's her background without getting into too much. Just is it like
um,
happy, or is it kind of like she has like a vengeful or sad backstory?
Yuna's backstory. Yuna's backstory is one of self growth. She wants to experience the world for herself, right? Test her own abilities. Uh, you know, it's her backstory is one of finding self worth in yourself, and so that's what she's doing, pretty much in this story, um, through combat, of course. Uh, but and that's the whole purpose of getting closer with Victory and understanding his way of thinking, because she's never met a person like him. Because with her being the cute character, um, men pretty often look at her for her outside beauty, which we all know she's fair. She's a pretty attractive looking character, according to some people.
Right.
um, and so with that, to her, men have become pretty predictable when they conversate with her. So so like for example, when having a conversation with Yuna, the average male would, compliment her on her beauty and shit and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, a conversation with Victory will be like he wouldn't mention none of that, and so it would rise the questioner, well, why didn't you mention, my looks? And Victory's more like, I don't talk about the blank obvious thing here, and and that's what draws him to, because he's different, if that makes sense. He's different, and he doesn't put up with her shit. So so they have Victory and Yuna have a really good relationship. He depends on her a lot, and that's the thing that Victory himself had to learn, because he went into this tournament with this idea that he would have to carry his team, but they are extremely dependable. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, well, shoot, but how do I get out of this mindset of having to feel that I have to carry my team to victory when we all can do it? You know what I'm saying? So it makes it so with them showing how dependable they are, makes it easier for him, but it's something that he has to get used to. He's in the habit of always having to do stuff for people. He's not used to just sitting back and letting people hold their own.
So he's used to carrying the load.
Yeah, he's used to that because of where he comes from. I wouldn't say slackers or anything like that.
Right. All right, I know you didn't want to get too much into this character, but they are asking. So okay. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the screen here. But you got this character right here who has the bunny standing right next to her.
All right, so
anything you can give.
Yeah. All right, so and then I think someone else asked a question too. So I'll answer that after I answer this. So that is Chang, right? That's her name. That's Chang. And I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but that is Yuna's mom. Mm-hmm. That is Yuna's mom. And her character, now I can't get it because it's really not a spoiler, but what it is that the whole like Yuna's family and stuff like that is based off of the moon, right? And so what it is Chang comes from the Chinese mythology goddess Chang and the Jade Rabbit. Mm-hmm. So that's where I got her name from, and that's the point of the rabbit. The rabbit's name is Jade, to play off of that whole Chang and the Jade Rabbit story. She I know y'all said that she looks like she kills people for fun, but no, she's strong as hell, obviously. And what it is that when you see Yuna in action and then see her mother in action, you will understand, like, oh, now I understand why Yuna is so strong, because her mom is strong. You know what I'm saying? So that's her, and I can't really go into what her purpose is in the story, but she does interact with the team in quite a few ways. But she has her own thing going on as well.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I got a quick question about this, though. So I noticed that the rabbit has a sword very similar to Yuna.
Right.
Is that Yuna's sword?
No, that is so basically Um, that's actually that rabbit actually trained Yuna in swordplay. Because like I said, like her mom has her own thing going on. So where they live at, they have, like I said, the whole Chang and the rabbit thing. So it's just one of those creatures that train Yuna in her swordplay, and it's just like it's not Yuna's sword. It's just more like a thing to kind of signify, like, oh, okay, we know where they come from, So it's nothing in too deep, It's nothing like that.
Okay. Because I do know I definitely want to get in some more questions, but we're gonna come back to it. All right, let me see here.
Right.
Somebody else just asked a question. What is the pie in the sky dream goal for these characters as they work together?
All right, so the goal for all these characters, the ultimate goal for all these characters is to make a name for themselves, and to win this tournament will do that. And it's not just winning the tournament. Just winning the tournament is not just going to give you a name for yourself. It's more so the people you meet, the people you influence, and things of that nature. So the ultimate goal is to win the tournament, but it's to become a better person than you was the day before, And like I said, I got some I got some more. Like I said, they got some more. Like I said, there's other stuff that's going on on the sidelines that influence. But to answer the question, it's just to win the tournament and become a better person than you was yesterday. Influence the people around you in a positive light, things of that nature.
Okay, Okay. So I do know you did say that this is a shonen, right?
Right.
Okay. So my question is, this tournament, you did
right.
say it's similar to the tournament of Pounder, but are they killing, or is it just like you knock them out?
It's more so. Is there killing? Yes and no. Yes and no, there's killing in this tournament. So in this tournament, let me see. Hold on 1 second. Someone's knocking on the door. Hold on.
Okay. All right, guys. Just a quick announcement. While we're waiting on him to come back, this will be the last call. So if you guys have any more questions, go ahead and put them in the Project Gang channel, and we will get to those. If not, this will be the last call, guys.
All right, my bad. What was the question? Oh, is there killing in the tournament? Yes and no, there's killing in the tournament. So in this tournament, you have what you can do is
I think it might be frozen.
Uh-oh. Is that better?
Give me 1 sec.
Is it?
All right, I'm back. You're back.
All right, there we go. All right, so is there killing in this tournament? Yes and no. And what I mean by that is, yes, you can die in this tournament, and no, because what it is that they have a rule that if you feel that your life is about to be taken, you can do this thing called eject. And what it is that it'll transport you out the tournament. You're eliminated, obviously, but you can eject from the tournament. And it's just like I said, like in a video game, like in Fortnite, when you die, you're not technically dead. You just gotta wait. You're just out until, and then what it is that when you're out, you can spectate. So a lot of characters that you see get beat in this tournament will be back, to spectate, because it's just like I said, it's like a video game. So like, so kind of think of it like as in Fortnite. So if you get killed early, you can either watch the game for the rest of the match, or you can, you know, go on about your business. So
And so the people who do die in this tournament, they're like done, dead.
yeah, they're dead. There's no Dragon Balls. There's none of that. So,
Okay.
you know, um, and the reason for that is that some people with what even though this is just like a tournament, some people are in it for the honor, right? And then some people are in it for reasons I really can't explain. There is no like if you come back, you might as well have died there because I'm gonna do it, because it's one of them type of things, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
So, there are characters that that are entering this tournament with their lives on the line because if they leave, then they're better off dead.
Right.
So yeah.
So this is kind of gonna be like, let's say, for example, Yuna. She's kind of
Hmm.
royalty. So let's say someone gets sent off, and they eject or whatever, so they don't die, but they didn't win. When they get
Hmm.
back, they're gonna be killed, basically.
Well, Yuna, I think you meant Mary. Mary's more
Yeah,
royal.
Mary. Sorry.
Um, no, Mary. Okay, so here's the cool thing about Mary, and her family. Uh, they don't come from a. She doesn't come from one of those type of royal families where that if you fail, you come back. You just lost. You know what I'm saying? But the reason Mary's in this tournament, her story is sort of like Sanji from One Piece. Basically, she entered this tournament just well, she's going to be married off, and so what it is that the person that wants to marry her, quote unquote, um, only will do that if the woman is strong, and so entering this tournament proves to her strength. So it's like all she has to do is pass the first round, and then she can get out, and she will live this happy, loving, married life, right? But she
Right.
doesn't want that because the dude that wants to marry her is that whole story like, oh, do I gotta really marry into this family that I don't want to marry into? And then Victory comes into the picture, like, oh, well, changes that. Well, shit, you know, I want to hang with him, and so it's
Right.
just more so. And Victory encourages her to make her own decisions in life. Like if you don't want to marry dude, don't do it. Of course, and what it is that I created a situation like that because it creates content. Like, all right, well, since Mary didn't marry the guy, what's he gonna do? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's more so it creates foreshadowing. It
Right.
creates foreshadowing for different arcs and stuff like that.
True. All right, so I got one more question, and if anybody else have any questions, you can go ahead and put that in the chat. All right, so you talked about your characters' powers. You talked about their personalities, their age, everything like that.
Right,
So if you were to put them up against other like anime or manga versus Fairy Tail, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto,
right.
where would they rank as far as like powers and like I guess you could say like physical capability? Do they have
Uh,
like the fighting of like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z? Like where would
all
they
right,
rank?
all right. I'll put this out there. For example, the My Hero Academia verse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each one of them would casually solo it with little to no effort. Um, I would say they are. They would. I would say okay. That I would say they're a little bit stronger than. I would say they're just about as strong as Naruto after the Pain arc.
Okay.
After the whole Pain thing, like when you get in Sage mode and stuff like that, I would say they're about just as strong as that. Um, Now the thing is about the characters in Gang is that it's their, not only are they strong, but they have abilities as well. So, like I said, like for example, like with Victory being able to read body temperature, Sarabi can read your. I guess I should go a little bit more deeper in her abilities. Sarabi can not only can Sarabi read your movements through your nervous system, uh, but she can also hack it because she reads electricity. And since your brain sends electric signals to the body, she can intercept those things and make you do things that you don't want to do. But it takes, it takes energy to do so. So, so that's her. And then with Mary, like a picture I posted, she can summon. Okay, let me break her down. So Mary's family, Mary has two brothers and an older brother and an older sister, and a younger brother. And her aesthetics is all based off of military warfare. And Mary's focus is aerial warfare, so she can summon jets or anything, any aircraft that looks like or any aircraft, and all the aircraft she summons look like butterflies. And she has also her from her older sister, which I gotta get her designed as well. Actually, all of them, but her older sister is infantry. Her older brother is naval or sea, and her younger brother is tanks. So yeah, so they all fight with different types of military warfare, and hers is aerial. And she can so yeah, she rains hell on her opponents from the air, and she's a good sniper thanks to her sister.
Okay.
So
So, yeah, I really didn't expect that when you said they're soloing in the My Hero, right?
yeah, bro, yeah.
Even All
Yeah.
Might.
Yeah. Yeah. Even all my and I guess, and what I mean by that is that I think when it comes to power scaling characters, when it comes to that community, I think they put like All Might at city level or something like that. Like, I'm not very familiar with it, but people say, like, he's like city level and stuff like that. But yes, each one of my characters would casually walk into the UA high school and smoke everybody with minimal effort because of not only their strength, but just the fact that they have aura.
Right.
And it sort of operates like Nim, but it's just they have the hacks abilities on top of the strength to compensate. That makes them formidable like that. So I would say, like, if you was to put them in a fight with another anime character, I would say Kage Summit Sasuke would be a good match for Yuna.
Okay.
I would say they would be I would say she would, if to give you an idea, she'd probably be just as strong as Kage Summit Sasuke. Yeah, because that was after the whole Danzo thing, and was that? Yeah, no, that is when he fought Danzo.
Yeah, that is the Danzo thing.
So, yeah, because I mean, they didn't. Because in Naruto, I would say Naruto, but they didn't really get like stupid OP till they got to the war, which, yeah, that's when everything got Dragon Ball Z-ish and stuff like that. But if I was to rank them from strongest to weakest, Victory is the strongest. Yuna matches Victory's strength, but she's not as fast as Victory.
Okay.
So Robbie is the most efficient with her aura, but she's not physically stronger than Mary. But she would beat Mary because of how efficient she is with her aura.
Right.
So and Mary, I'm like Mary's not the weakest. She's actually like I really can't like I would say Victory and Yuna will be tied at 1, then it'll be Sarabi, then Mary. Because Mary's role is a little bit different. She's a heal. She can heal too. You know, she can heal, protect, do all this other supportive. Her role is support. So that's
Right.
more so what she does. But if you squabble with her, you'll probably regret it also. So yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So I know you don't have a Patreon or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
So I know on Instagram you are Project Gang 2020, right?
Yep. And I'm
Is
on.
it also your name on TikTok?
Yep, Project Game 2020. Yep. Trying to keep it the same so that I don't forget anything when I'm telling people where to check me out and stuff. But yeah, I'm new to I'm not I don't want to say I'm new to social media, but I'm not very social media savvy like a lot of people. I just post stuff, but I'm learning how to make it more presentable. Another character. How do I post characters? Because there's one more.
So actually, if you want, you can put it in the Project Gang chat, and then I'll pull it up.
All right, let me see. Hold on one sec. So, because there's one more person. Actually, hold on. See if I can find it. I can't. Oh wait. Nope, I can't find it. It's too far. It's too. I think it's It might be too deep in the original creations tab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but let's see.
Who was it?
It is Amaterasu.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard of that one in a long time. Is it the? What does she look like?
She has orange pants.
Yep, I got her. Go ahead and pull that up. Let's see here. That's the one.
Yes. That's wait, where can I see it at?
It's in the original creation.
Okay.
Actually, I'll go ahead and put it in the Project Gang. All right, there you go.
Oh yes, okay, yes. So that is Amaterasu, and that is Victory's mom. I don't know. And so in this story, I'm trying to get away from that whole typical shonen characters don't have both their parents. Well, Victory has both of his parents. Yuna has both of her parents. Mary has both of her parents. I think Sarabi only has her mom because I want to do something with her dad. So yeah, but Victory's mom, Amaterasu, just like Yuna's mom, they're off doing their own thing. So what it is that what I want is that thing that they're doing is the next step after what's going on in this gang war. So, and the chick in the back of Amaterasu, that is Solaris, and she plays a role in what's going on as well. Like a lot of these characters, it's more so setting up for the next big arc. But you will see them in the tournament. They don't participate because Victory's mom and Yuna's mom will kill everybody that's participating in the tournament. So they're like the god tiers of the verse.
Right.
So and I refer to them as OGs. So that's their role is gonna be something so sort of similar. I want to say to like Jiraiya,
Okay.
but yeah, I guess you could say that they're OGs. They're kind of like Sonny, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They influenced the Victory in his team. This is like, yeah, we in this tournament, but this is, I'm preparing you for some other stuff. Like, yeah, you focus on this for now, but just know
something's coming.
Yeah, we out here doing some stuff, and I need you to be prepared for it. So that's Victory's mom, and she is like her. She's gonna be like oh dang, I can't even think of her name. I just read it too. The bunny chick from My Hero Academia. Yeah, I can't think of her name right now.
Mirako?
Yeah, so whatever. Her, right? that's Amaterasu's demeanor. She's strong. She's a woman. She wants smoke. If you want smoke, she give it to you. You're most likely gonna regret it, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? And Yuna's mom is more so, she'll laugh at you, give you that smirk, like, all right, and then explain to you why you don't want the problems that I'm about to bestow on you.
Right. Okay.
So
I know you said. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
So I know you said that they have both of their parents, right? So
yeah, Victory has his mom and dad. Yeah.
Is his dad just as powerful as his mom?
No. but okay, so let me put it like this. So what it is that Victory's mom, Matarasu, whenever she approaches an opponent, she folds her arms, right? And her rule is, she's like Kenpachi. If I unfold these arms, then it's gonna be some more wicked stuff coming your way, and you don't want me to unfold these arms. And Victory's dad made her unfold her arms, but in a silly type of way. It's weird. Like, and she's the type that's blunt. So, like, whatever's on her mind, she'll say it. You ask her a question, she'll probably give you the most unappropriate answer to the question that you ask. Like, for example, when she encounters Victory and his gang, Victory and the girls and stuff, her first approach to it is, the first thing she does is check all their stomachs to see if they're pregnant. That's the first thing she does. And so, she's like that embarrassing mom. If the bit makes, to clear things up, she's like an embarrassing mother. But she's very loving. She loves her son. She loves the team that he's created, or the team that he's on. She loves all the girls and stuff like that. But she's embarrassing because she's the think of her as the mom that whip out the baby pictures when you bring your girlfriend over, she's that type. While Yuna's mom, um, is the type to, she's the type. Yuna has the mom that will flirt with her daughter's boyfriend, but won't do anything with her daughter's boyfriend type thing, you know. But like I say, Yuna's mom, she's fun to write with for because she's just super cool and chill. Matarasu's fun to write for because she's ignorant. Um, and I'm getting everybody else's. Like I said, I got a lot of characters I got to get designs and stuff for.
Right.
And then the last character I wanted to talk about, she's in my original creations too. She's the girl on the cloud with the staff. I didn't post. Actually, I think I could post it. I could actually shoot you.
Did you post it in the original creations?
Nope, but I can right now.
I think you did. I see him.
Okay.
Put that up. With the cloud that like has a face.
With the yes, that's. Ooh, excuse me. That is San, and
that one.
Yep. Yes, that is her. That is San, right? And San is a very fun. All these characters are fun. All my characters are fun. Mm-hmm. And her San, she's on another team. And the team that she's on gets involved with the team Victory's on, and they become, it's just one of those type of things. Teams meet up, to get to know each other because not everyone in this tournament are enemies. It's just everyone wants to win, but it's there comes a point where they're going to have to work together at one point in time. She's pretty busted, and her character is based off of, I don't know if you're familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yes.
Okay, so San is actually, her character design and abilities are based off of San in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The monkey with the staff. She turns into a giant ape.
I think I remember.
Yeah, so she's based off of her. Instead, she doesn't turn into a giant ape. Her cloud acts as an air fryer, and her and Mary are actually rivals when it comes to cooking because Mary's the best cook in the group. Mm-hmm. And San, and there's that whole, it's basically a play on that whole debate that an air fryer is the best way to prep food now. Like a stove is obsolete.
Right.
So everyone uses an air fryer, and that's what San uses, and Mary, uses a stove. She cooks with a stove, old school. And so it's just more so like there's a part where, and I have done some writing and stuff, but there's like a part where they compete, whose food tastes better, food off the stove or food from an air fryer. And Victory, Yuna, and Sarabi are just like, they taste the same. So it's like, it's one of those things like, dang, what, there's comical moments in this story because I don't like stories that are just people are just dead ass, just super serious the whole way through, which is fine, if that's what you want. But I don't like stories like that because I'm not a serious person all the time. So, and I want my personality to kind of reflect on my story as well. And with me being a comical person, like I said, I've done stand-up comedy. I've also done acting. and improv and stuff like that as well. So I kind of want to reflect that in the story through these characters in certain moments.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that, especially with that cooking. So I know you said you want to get something out by Christmas.
I do. I
Okay.
do.
So I definitely want to try and once you get that out to maybe do another interview so we can go over the story and things of that nature. Um, it was great having you on. Everybody go check out his social media. It's Project Gang 2020. All right. Any last words you want to say to the people?
Um, I really, really appreciate those who, uh, on this journey when I started, people have reached out. Like shout out to Corey. Uh, he's another person who's really engaged with me in this story. But we're friends on Facebook. He inboxes me and talk, asks me questions and stuff like that. Another person we give a shout out to is James. I talked to him quite a bit, and he's working on a manga called Gold Rush, and I'm really looking forward to that because his art style is, well, him and Corey's art style is different.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then that's what I like. Like I said, if it's something I can pick out from a group of people, I like that. I like that. And them too. Not saying I'm not trying to, rain on no one else's parade or anything like that. But those are just two people who reach out, and I talk to. Marty. He's doing his thing too. I can't wait for him. Like that man is. I'm telling you, that man is so talented. Like I'm really glad to work with him. And he has a lot of growth and stuff too. That's basically from the stuff that he's shown me in the past. He's come a long way. Like I say, he's phenomenal. I love working with him too. I actually got to get uh, some more stuff done by him because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, he's cold with the pen. I like his art style. I like James's art style. Corey's art style is cold too. I just like it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I just I appreciate the people who reach out and talk to me. Like I know people got their own stuff going on and stuff like that, but just it's in the works. It really is. Like so, I got a life. you know, I got my own thing going on.
Right.
Uh, but I assure you, and I got my friends and stuff, that are helping me with this manga. As far as like writing and stuff like that. Another one, a shout out to my editor Trey. He's I'm pretty sure he's like, what is this dude doing? What's taking him so long? It's just it's not that I haven't done anything. I'm actually, a matter of fact, I do want to say this. I just finished my first script, and it's getting illustrated, and it's nothing like super serious, but it's
Uh-huh.
just more. It's like 4 pages long, 4 or 5 pages long, and it's just a little comical bit that I wrote up, and my illustrator is gonna, we're working on panels and stuff like that, and she's gonna illustrate it, and I'm gonna just that. So I'm gonna do that, and when I post that when it's done. When it's gonna be done, I have to talk to her. When it's gonna be done is another question. Um, but I really, it's in the works. Like it's a lot. Like I have a lot planned for gang,
Mm-hmm.
and the ultimate goal is like someone said in the Discord. Man, I really want to see this animated. You know, and I've actually had a couple of people. Uh, really want to see this anime because the powers are so, oh, I don't want to say weird, but
Unique.
it's yeah, like they're unique. And the way I described it, it was like I have to see that on TV, because with in a manga, it's still pictures.
Right.
So, shout out to them. Shout out to everyone who's who's pursuing something in their lives. You know what I'm saying? With being black. First though, that's another thing. Being black and making a manga. Those things like what you can do that.
Right.
So I'm in all the black manga artists. I'm truly inspire me. I just picked up another person, Chris Burns. I picked up his manga, Chikara and the Power of God. I just picked that up. So so every person, not just just black people, but every person that's just pursuing. I see y'all, and y'all inspire me. To make this story as good, as fun as I want to make it. Y'all are letting me know that it is possible. And and I really appreciate that, especially like the people at I can't remember his name, but there's a couple of black manga publishing companies, like here in America. Pulse Manga,
Right.
Pulse Manga. Then you got oh, I hope I do not say that name wrong. Asura Go. See, it's Asura Go. It's a guy named CG. I talked to him quite a bit too. He actually sent me a poster. He's the author of Go Go Slump King, and he's a big inspiration to me also. And so I wanna, like I said, I just, when I started, I was like, what? I didn't know so many black people was making manga. Like, like this is dope. And then like I see like Saturday AM. I just looked into that stuff and white manga, Vandale. Hope I don't get his last name wrong. Matchant. I'm just gonna call him Vandale because that's his first name. But I don't, I'm bad with names. I just got good with names here probably like 3-4 months ago. Because when I came up with the characters for Gang, I literally only person's name I was stuck on was Victories because I'm horrible with names. So yeah, but just here recently, I've been getting really good with naming characters and stuff. Um, my artist Dennis, he's the one who does the art that you've seen and stuff like that. Uh, Shout out to him because, like I said, a lot of this publicity, I won't say publicity, but a lot of this attention that I've gotten here and recently is because of him and his art. So I really want to give a shout out to him because you know, he's the one who's making this manga presentable. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, he's the one that's drawing the attention for me, and I really appreciate that. Appreciate him for that. So, I got my work cut out for me, but I promise I'm try to, as a new writer, I'm going to try to give the world something that's entertaining, and fulfilling, so.
So I know you said you wanted something out by December. We discussed that. So do
Right.
you know where you're gonna be putting that out? Webtoon or where do you
All right,
see
so
that being placed?
All right, so here's the thing. I wanted to do webtoons, right? But my illustrator, Yuki, we have a common goal in mind, right? And that common goal is to, of course, we want to, of course, with me being American, I want, to release it somewhere in America. Um, uh, but the ultimate goal is to catch the eye of Shonen Jump. That's what we're trying to do, and with that, that's why I'm putting a lot of thought into my characters and abilities and stuff like that. When I think of a scene, when I type out of my script, and I asked, like I said, I asked Yuki a lot of questions, and I asked her, like, I tell but before I started working with her, I told her like this is going to be an action-based manga, and I think I've posted her work. Um, but when I asked her, can you do? I ask her all the time, can you draw this? Can you draw them doing this? Can you draw them doing that? And so, because what it is that you'll be surprised how many people I've seen hire artists, and then when they get to a certain part, the artist is like, I can't do that. I can't
Right.
do that. I can't do that. And so it's just like, dang. Well, it sucks. So that's why, excuse me, I constantly ask, and she's always saying yes. So I'm like, all right, we'll see. But then again, it's she, like I'm so thankful that I get to work with her because she's such a talented person. She's nice too. Let's see, post. Here we go. So that's her work that I just posted.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, that's her work. And so she's been doing this for quite a bit. So, she ain't no Akira Toriyama or nothing like that. But she's gifted. I can see she's gifted. And I enjoy working with her.
Right.
But as far as like a platform, I was thinking webtoons, but I don't know if you can post manga on webtoons. Yuki said Tapas, Tapas. I think it's a web. So I think what she said, we can do it. We can post it on there. Trying to think of another spot because some people was complaining about webtoons also, but I think Tapas is where we're gonna try to where we're gonna post a lot of our stuff at, and so yeah.
I heard about Tapas from one of my friends from work. And so I posted mine on Tapas and on Webtoon. I know usually they say, like you said, they don't usually post manga on Webtoon. But I was like, hey, it was worth a shot. I mean, I got a couple views, a couple likes, a couple 5-star ratings. So, I mean, I think it's worth a try, just because it is, pretty popular right now.
Right.
Yeah, but everybody go ahead and check out his social media at Project Gang 2020, Instagram, TikTok. Got anything else?
I mean, like I said, I love talking to people, especially about this manga. So just drop a question if you got a question about, because there's a lot of stuff in this interview that I didn't say. Mm-hmm. So, if you got a question, I don't mind. I love talking about my manga. It's fun for me. It's fun to see people engaged in an idea that I have. So,
all right. So we definitely gotta do this again when that first chapter comes out, man. But I just want to say thank you so much for the interview. It was really fun.
It was, man. I appreciate the opportunity, honestly. I really do. I really do.
We definitely gotta do this again, man. All right, but if nothing else, I want to say goodbye to the people and good luck on your manga, man.
Oh, thank you, man. You too.